Welcome back to another episode of Random Talks with Tracy. I hope you're all ready for today's scoop because we've got a mix of heartwarming deeds, celebrity celebrations, and some real talk about education in Nigeria. Let's get right into it. First up, let's talk about someone who's truly making waves in Nigeria with his incredible generosity. The one, the only, Asherkine. This guy has become a household name for all the right reasons. He's known for spreading joy and changing lives with his remarkable acts of kindness. Imagine this. Whenever Asherkine comes into any town, people are always excited and hope to meet him. Some are even planning their strategy to maximize their 30-second all-paid shopping spree. Sounds like a dream, right? Whether it's time-limited shopping sprees, a day with him, or cash gifts, he's always finding new ways to sprinkle happiness around. But his latest acts of generosity might just blow your mind. Recently, he donated a borehole to the community of Kanka in Plateau State. Now, brace yourself for this. The community had only 3 wells as their water source for over 3 decades, as in over 30 years. In big 2024, can you believe that? It's a stark reminder of how critical basic infrastructure is and how much more needs to be done by both state and local governments. And that's not all. Asherkine didn't stop there. He hopped over to another community in Langtang South Plateau State, where he really went all out. He renovated a school, provided scholarships, and stocked up on classroom furniture and essential school supplies like books, bags, socks, you name it. And just when you think he's done, he literally gave away a whole warehouse of foodstuffs and provisions to the women in the community. Talk about going above and beyond. People are absolutely buzzing with gratitude and joy, and many can't help but reflect on the role of our current leaders in light of Asherkine's selfless actions. It's heartwarming to see such a huge impact from one individual, and it certainly makes you question what more could be done if more people and governments followed suit. Moving on to something a bit more upbeat, let's talk about a special anniversary. Today marks 10 years since Wizkid dropped the iconic track Oju Eleba from his album Ayo. Can you believe it's been a decade? Time really flies when you are vibing to great music. In honor of this milestone, Spotify has released a heartwarming video celebrating Wizkid's impact and journey. It's such a sweet gesture from Spotify, and it's lovely to see how Wizkid's music continues to touch hearts and make waves. Here's to many more years of success and incredible tunes. Now let's talk about a pressing issue that's been trending. The University of Ibadan students are crowdfunding to pay their school fees. It's both eye-opening and troubling. Just a few decades ago, federal universities like University of Ibadan were considered affordable and accessible. Fast forward to today, and the story is quite different. Tuition fees have skyrocketed from a range of 30 to 60k to 140,000 to 200,000. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Students are also facing rising costs for housing, transportation, textbooks, assignments, and even projects. It's disheartening to see that even in a federal institution, which was once a beacon of cost-effective education, students are now turning to crowdfunding to make ends meet. It's a stark contrast to the past when these institutions were more financially accessible. The rise in costs reflects broader economic challenges and places a huge burden on students and their families. We are seeing departmental associations and students' groups rallying together, but it's a stopgap measure in a much larger crisis. Education should be a right, not a privilege reserved for the wealthy. It's high time for a serious conversation and action from the government to address these economic strains and make education more accessible again. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Random Talks with Tracy. From the incredible generosity of Asherkine to the touching adventure of Wizkid's Oju Eleba and the eye-opening reality of rising education costs, we've covered quite a lot. It's clear that there's a lot of good happening in the world, and there's also a lot that needs fixing. We've got heroes like Asherkine making huge impacts, and celebrations like Wizkid's milestone reminding us of the power of music and culture. At the same time, challenges like the rising cost of education show us there's still work to be done. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and found it as thought-provoking as I did. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to tune in next time for more random talks and juicy updates. Until then, stay positive and keep spreading kindness. See you next time.